Hey there, folks. It's Everly here, also known as Ever Ainsley or Snowhawk, depending on where you've known me from originally. I want to do something that I've not done yet, but I think would be helpful. I do want to go over and read a couple of posts from the developers of Equinox Homecoming, which is why we're looking at the loading screen right now. No, the login screen, I should say. There will be a video coming out around the same time as this one, probably a little bit after, where I will be going into the game itself after I read through the patch notes, and I will be showing off a couple of things that are mentioned specifically in the patch notes for folks so that y'all get a chance to look at it. It won't be just me playing the game and messing around. It'll be me looking at what's specifically for those notes. But first, what we're going to do is take a look at the fall and winter roadmap that is coming up for Equinox. They completed their first one. It's been 4 months since the game launched into early access, so let's take a look at what's coming up next for the game. This is directly from the Steam page. I will have this linked in the video description so you can go and read it yourself. There is a video that is in this post. I will not be playing the video, but it will also be linked in the description. I would recommend to please go and watch that yourself as well, so you can hear it directly from the team. What's coming up for the game? This is just me, a person who is not associated with Blue Scarab Entertainment or Equinox in any way, shape, form, or fashion, who is doing this because I want to. That's the simplest reason why. This is our fall and winter roadmap. 4 months ago, the first of many ferries to Alderwood Island landed, and we welcomed so many new investigators. We are so thankful for everyone who took a chance on us. This is our first game as a new company and a true labor of love, a misunderstood genre that most investors scoff at. In the time since launch, we've rolled up our sleeves and released 12 patches. Back in June, we published our first roadmap of the year, which is right here. Since then, we've ticked nearly everything off that roadmap's to-do list, which means it's time for a new roadmap. Today, we're sharing our new development plans. Take a look and see what we have in store for you. We had a chat with our studio's creative director about what we've been working on and share some sneak peeks of our works in progress features. So here's the video I mentioned. Again, this is going to be linked below. I would recommend that you follow it yourself. Also, if you're not in the Discord for Equinox, although I'm assuming if you watch this, you probably are. But if you're not there, do take a look, join the Discord, and let these folks know what they're doing, because I've been in other early access / beta projects, even from larger companies, and they were not as nice as this one has been. Our new roadmap. Our roadmap has two types of updates: patches and content drops. Patches are smaller updates full of improvements like bug fixes, quality of life implementations, and more. Whenever possible, we try to include new content in these updates in the form of new races or ride islands. Content updates focus on adding significant new game content, like additional story chapters, weekly quests, races, ride island locations, and new or unique features. Each of these sections will be covered below. If I expand this, it's not going to show up because of how I have the window from my browser like squished down. It'll all be cut off. But like I said, each one's going to be below. so we'll cover those as we go through each one of them. But as you can see, each part of the roadmap is for autumn, late autumn, winter, and late winter. So this should carry us into 2026. You may say that we don't have bug fixes assigned to our specific updates in our roadmap image. That's because all of our updates include bug fixes, polish, and improvements like optimization and animation refinements. The entire team is always working on improving the game's experience. It's a key part of our game's development. And it has been getting better. And I don't just say that because my computer's gotten better, but the game itself has been getting better. One part of the early access process that I think a lot of people don't quite understand is this is to make sure that the game works on a wide range of systems. There's only so many computers of so many specs that the developers can test on their end. So by opening it up to the early access crowd, letting a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of different systems, including things like Steam Decks, lower-end PCs, very high-end PCs, and everything in between, get in there. It helps them to see like what's working good and what's not working good. We'll get more into like early access stuff in a different video, but in general, this is why there's early access. It's going to be buggy. That's the whole point, because we're trying to get those out so that the game can be better at launch. A note on cinematic cutscenes. The team has been hard at work preparing our cinematics, and we're excited to share that our remaining Chapter 1 cutscenes are nearly done and ready for implementation. At the end of this month, we're scheduled to begin another round of motion capture production. This shoot is to help us prepare the rest of the cutscenes for Chapter 2, 3, and 4. As we inch closer to launch, and as they are completed, we'll be adding those new cutscenes into the game slowly but surely. Since this was posted on September 26th, I'm assuming that end of the month does mean the end of September, so probably around the time that I'm making this video, which is September 29th. Autumn patches. This is what's coming up in autumn. If I expand this, will it cut off? It won't let me expand it. Okay. In the coming months, we'll be releasing several patches that introduce new features, including some frequent player requests. New cinematics for Chapter 1 will be released over time as they are completed. Yesterday, we released 2 new cutscenes in our latest update. This is the other video that will be covered, so we'll have that video up as soon as I can. I will be recording, excuse me, I will be recording gameplay that is just the game audio on a fresh account that will also include those new cutscenes. I have seen one of them at this time. One of them is the careful meeting cutscene when you first meet your horse. The other one is the interview with Ben Willis. I haven't gotten to that one yet, but I will likely be getting that one in the next few days. Our new stylus shop, out now in patch 12, which again was released on Thursday, and I will also be covering in the upcoming video related to this, which will let you edit your player's appearance without a character reset. Up until this point, if you want to change how your character or your horse looks, you have to just reset, which is part of the early access process, so do it anyway. But if you aren't ready to, or if something looks a little bit weird in game as opposed to how it looked in character creation, you can change it here. The ability to customize your horse's appearance at the barn also released yesterday, which is the same thing as the stylist, except that you'll go to your barn as opposed to Teresa, the stylist NPC that was added to the game. And we'll also be releasing new character creation options, like an additional masculine voice and new hairstyles. Our first multiplayer event, the Crown Chase, will also be released in autumn. Kind of excited to see that. I'm not typically one for multiplayer things, even though it is an MMO. That's just the way that I play. But, could be fun. Content update number 3. This is for content update in our late autumn. Our next content update is due to be our biggest one and will be releasing in late autumn. This patch will include a ton of new content, our next chapter release, and our first additional horse breed. Which one are you hoping we'll add? I said this on stream, but I'm going to say it here. Everyone wants the Frisian. I want the Arabian. Personal preference. They're both cute though. Over 20 new quests across Chapter 4 and new weekly add-ons, which is great because I started a new account, so I will be able to get all of what those reps go to. Probably add to my list on the Discord of reps that seem a little bit weird, but anyway. User-created races will let players create their own race courses to share with others. This sounds fun, because I love the idea. Our first new horse breed will be available, letting players own more than one horse, which means we'll also have a new stable menu, which sounds like fun, because the stable menu is okay for right now, but I could definitely see how it's restricted when you only have one horse to consider. We'll continue to prepare and polish our cinematic cutscenes. Excited to see those. A new ride island inspired by the Scottish Highlands. And 2 new races to challenge yourself. With the current races that have been added, I really like the Fisherman's Folly. That one has been super fun to run. I love running it every time I get a chance to. There's more than 2 new races, but these are my 2 favorites. And the Alderwood Lap also is one that I really enjoy running. Not quite as much as Fisherman's Folly, but it's up there. Winter patches. Our winter patches will focus on a lot of different art polish. We'll be improving our horse animations, player character animations, and a couple of new quality of life improvements like UI updates, map polish, and performance updates. These are also things that tend to come just in general with the game, I've noticed throughout the release schedule, but we're doing good here. Also a note about the horses. I know there are a lot of folks who are going to be picky about the way that the horses look. And as somebody who draws mostly horses, let me tell you something. They're hard to draw. They're one of the hardest things to draw. And one of my friends pointed out the reason why. It's the same as the reason why hands are difficult to draw. You have to think a horse's legs are basically from the knee and the hock down, a hand or a foot. There's not a lot of meat there. It's a lot of bone, skin, and connective tissue. That's pretty much all it is. There's very little muscle in those lower parts. There's some, but not a lot. I don't expect a horse game, especially one with a small team like this, who this is their first game, to get things right off the bat. I was even going off on Star Stable the other day for how weird some of the horses, especially the older Gen 3s, look, which is stylistic for the game at the time, but now that the game's style has changed, you can see the difference. Anyway, let's keep going. Content update number 4. Fourth content update is scheduled for late winter. This patch will introduce our second horse breed, plenty of new cosmetic items, and even more cinematic polish. So, It's more races, which sounds great. The horse breed, which I'm all about. Cosmetic items. I love cosmetics. I love being able to like dress my character up without losing stats. So, the addition of cosmetics was perfect for me. And then a note from the devs says, "Thank you for your support. We are so grateful for all of you supporting us. If you believe in the game and have liked what you've seen, please leave us a Steam review. Every bit helps us fully realize the future of Alderwood. We want all of you to explore and to experience and explore. We're making this game for you. An audience many in the industry are unconvinced even exists. Because a lot of us are girls, or at least were assigned female at birth. I fall in that latter category. And let me tell you, a good horse game has been so hard to find. But this game, I have really enjoyed. Personal. Some personal, like a lot of personal interjections here. Your reviews and feedback are the backbone of our success. We analyze the entire community's feedback and use it as a foundation for all our plans and patches. Together, we can make this game the best it can be." I mentioned this a little bit ago. Part of the early access process is to get a wide range of systems and also of people to look at a game. At the same time, if you're going to jump in on the early access process, I do recommend always reading patch notes every single time that there is one. Because I can almost guarantee a lot of the questions you might have are going to be in those patch notes. When they had to do the reset to quest progress, but didn't reset the characters, that confused a lot of people because they didn't read their patch notes. It has been suggested that when you see this screen, the patch notes are on there somewhere. And I think that's one of the reasons why they've changed the layout so far, to give themselves more room to be able to post those patch notes. So, this is where it's also important to understand when you're an early access person, you're testing the game. It's always going to be a lot of testing. So, there's our roadmap update. Let me go ahead and just end this video here. And then what I will do is I will load up the game so that I can record what I want to show. And I will have the other update video, the one about the patch notes, up soon after this one. Either way, thank you all for listening. Be sure to read the news, join the Discord, and we'll see you guys next time.